I don't know if I can segment these together. We'll see. So here's the project that we're going to do. All right, so when we look at this, now Andy Warhol, his cupcakes would have all been the same. All right, he had 4 soup cans and they all said, you know, noodle soup. But I changed it up a little bit and we're gonna do 4 different cupcakes. Okay, and I used about maybe 8 different colored markers so that I could repeat it in places so that there's some continuity to it. So here are the pinks, and here's the yellows, here's the light blue. The cherries obviously are all the same. So you're gonna wanna have some, a thread to the colors that you choose here. Here's a quote from Andy Warhol. It says, "Art is whatever you can get away with." And he was, you know, he really kind of led the way from the movements of looking at realistic art that looks like a photograph to a very commercialized, pungent colors, very striking, repetitive pieces that he would do. So, all right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper and we need to divide it in fourths. Do you remember how to do that? So we're going to fold it this way and we're going to line up the edges, right? So I'm going to make sure that these guys are together. So I'm going to fold it this way and then I'm going to fold it this way. So I'm going to have 4 pieces. And again, I make sure these pieces are lined up and I make a nice tight crease down here. So when I open it up, I will have 4 cupcakes, okay? And then I'm just gonna cut along these lines right here. And remember, when we talk about cutting with scissors for my little guys, we don't wanna close our scissors all the way, right? We just kind of wanna leave it a little open and move it. Leave it a little open and move it, all right? So I'm gonna cut this, because if I close it all the way, it snips it, and then it kind of leaves it jagged or hard to get back on track. All right, so I'm going to cut it this way, and I'm going to cut it this way. All right, so now I have 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the only time we're going to use our scissors. Okay, so you can put those away. So put the other 3 to the side, and we're just going to use 1 and make our first cupcake. All right. So we're just going to draw along. You're going to follow me. If you need to stop the video, then go ahead and catch up. So I'm going to look at my paper, and I kind of want the cupcake base to be on the bottom half of the paper. All right. So I'm going to make the cupcake liner first. So I'm just going to draw a line down. Now this line is going to be a little bit curved, right? Because it's round. And then this side is going to meet about approximately the same across. So I have the same sort of distance on each side, here to here. All right, I have a curved line right here. All right. Now for this cupcake, let's do a jagged cupcake liner. All right, so we're just going to kind of go up and down, and meet on the side there. Okay, so the first part of my cupcake is just going to be the base. And I'm just going to draw these little lines on each side, like that. Then I'm going to put a layer of frosting next. So you're just going to kind of make this kind of curly mustache smiley thing there. Okay, and then I'm going to make a 3rd layer of my cupcake, some more frosting. Who doesn't love frosting, right? And I'm going to leave this space open because that's where I'm going to put my cherry. Okay, so the cherry is sort of like a circle. I mean, it can be a circle, but remember it's sitting in frosting, so it's not, you're not going to see it all the way. And then right where the pit goes, I mean the stem, it kind of has a little dip down right there. And then the stem is sort of thick on the end and then back to the center there. All right. Now our cupcake's gonna sit on the table, so I'm gonna draw the table behind my cupcake, like that. All right. And then I'm gonna finish this line that goes across here. So that's our first cupcake that we're gonna draw. Now you can do this now or you can do it later, but the cupcake liner has those little ridges in it. So the one in the middle is straight because that's the one that's facing you. And then these on the sides have a little bit of a slant and they turn in because it's fatter at the top than it is at the bottom, right? And we'll go back over all of this with our marker later. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little shadow for my cupcake. Okay, so I just kind of made a little hook right there. Okay, and that's it. That's our first cupcake. So let's do our second one. If you need to catch up, then just freeze the video and finish yours and then come on back. All right, for our second cupcake, we're gonna start with the cupcake liner again. So a line here. I'm thinking about the distance on each side. I have a curved line for the bottom of my cupcake, and then this side goes back up. Now this cupcake is gonna kind of look like a scoop of ice cream, okay? So I'm gonna leave a spot for my cherry, or I can just put my cherry up top here. So you're on the upper half of your paper, okay? And you can, if you cut your paper in half and then cut it in half again, that's about where your cherry is gonna go. So you can draw your cherry right there. So it's sort of just floating right now, right? So now we're gonna add our little scoop of ice cream. It's gonna kind of fan out and then kind of yummy icing dripping down and then come back up. Right, and then we need our stem right there. And our cupcake needs to sit on a table, right? And we want it to be in about the same place as the other one. All right, so you can kind of put them next to each other as a guide and draw a straight line across. And we'll have our little lines here for the cupcake ridges. And we're going to do the same kind of shading shadow that we did on the other one. Okay. So that's our second cupcake. All right. Here goes our third one. So we're going to have our cupcake liner again. And now this one will have like a little fringy base. And then we'll have another layer on top. And then we'll put our cherry in there again with the stem. Okay, so we've got our lines. And it's sitting on the table. And a shadow. Okay. So that's our third one. And our fourth cupcake, we're going to draw that cupcake liner. And this one will just make it big, floofy, kind of organic cloud shape. So And then our cherry is going to plop right there. I don't really like that little, it's too big right there. I'm going to change that. Oops. Okay. And that cupcake's going to sit on the table too. And it has its ridges. Okay. Now you're going to add all the sprinkles and chocolate chips and whatever you're going to put in yours later. So the first thing that I did when I started my markers or whatever you're going to use is I just did all the cherries first. Now the thing you want to do when you do your cherries is remember to leave the little light that hits the round surface of the cherry, okay? Hope you can see that right there. See all the little lights? All right, so to do that, we're just going to kind of make like a comma, like that. And that way then you can just color it in around it. Okay, like that. Okay, so you're going to do that for all your cherries. And then you go ahead and pause the video and then you decide your color composition that you're going to choose. Like choose 7 or 8. I chose to leave this one white, a white frosting, so I didn't have to do anything on that. I did add sprinkles to it. And then do all of your colors first. And then once that's finished, you're going to take your black marker and just outline the cupcake, okay, the base of it and the cherry. And then you'll make the shadow down here, okay? And once all that's done, then go ahead and add your texture, whatever that's going to be, to each one, like that, all right? And then once you have it all finished, if you have a big piece of paper, you can mount it on here with your glue and think about the spacing and the composition of it and how you want it to look. And then that will be your finished Andy Warhol piece, okay? So go ahead and ask me any questions and I will get back to you. You can feel free to share this with a friend who might be at home too and looking for some art to do. That's fine with me if you share it. And leave me any comments if there's something that you'd like to see us do. Now it has to be within reason because not everybody has a whole bunch of art supplies. But if there's something you'd like to learn how to draw or somebody you would like to study, just let me know and I will try to make that happen. Okay? I'll see you soon. Good luck.